Hi guys, so I know the lighting's really bad. I don't have much battery left. But everybody's out of the house, so I wanted to make a video real quick and kind of give you a little bit of information about well, being floxed. A lot of people know I have reached the recovery stage, I guess. Like, I woke up one day and most of my symptoms, all but the manageable ones, went away, and thanks to this amazing doctor who found out that simple magnesium injections and the right cocktail of vitamins and medications really worked for me, and I couldn't be happier. And I hate looking back at old videos that I have, because it makes me cry, because it makes me kind of go back to that place. I'm like, oh my God, it was so horrible. How did nobody know? How did nobody know? I mean, like, look at me now. And you know, I work at a haunted house, which doesn't pay much, but it's something that I've always wanted to do. And it's very, very, very stressful on my body. And it feels so good at the end of the night when I've made it through the whole night. Because I did it, you know, and it's very rewarding. It feels like you know, I ran a marathon and I finally hit that ribbon, you know. But I have learned to be cautious. I recently, 2 weeks ago, snapped a tendon in my ankle, and it's been hurting for about 2 weeks, and there's nothing they can really do about it besides just let it heal. And I can't really be too easy on it. You know, I try to be as easy as possible and keep it wrapped. But when I'm working, it's kind of hard to do. So while I was working, when I was jumping up, I wasn't actually doing much with the ankle, but it was just enough to where now I have a hairline fracture on the bottom part of my first tarsal. So I actually have a broken foot now too. And they can't boot it, because then the tendon will grow wrong and they'll have to stretch it or re-tear it and all that good stuff. So I've learned that you have to be careful. I also have a tendency, even when I was sick, to go off my meds just because I hated fooling with it. It wasn't because I thought, oh, I don't need them. And by the way, there are some people out there who may go through that, where you feel like you don't need them anymore. Yes, you do. If they made you get to the point where you are now, and if it's better, the point where you're at, then you stay on those medications. You can slowly start to wean yourself off, like I did. I'm no longer taking the heart medication. I'm no longer taking one of my muscle relaxers. I'm still not in pain management, but that's not that wasn't a goal. I'm actually trying to get back into pain management. And my hair probably looks a mess. It's trying to curl, trying to straighten. I don't know what it's trying to do. Anyways, last night, my biggest point is you have to be careful, even when you're in recovery, and you have to do everything. You have a ritual. You have to follow that. That's your life now. Unfortunately, even though you found out that it was the antibiotics that hurt you, even though you found out what makes you feel bad and what makes you feel good, you have to follow that regimen for the rest of your life. You have to. Because of my insurance, which I'm going to be straightening out later on today because of what happened last night, which I'll get to in just a second. Because of my insurance, I now had to pay up front $25 to get my magnesium injections at my doctor's office. And I'm not blaming my doctor's office. they've not been getting paid since May from my insurance. So I completely understand why they're doing that. But that's $50 a week. He sent me a prescription to have the pharmacy do the injections, but I've not had time yet to do that. My mom's a nurse. I have some at home, and even though it doesn't have the lidocaine and it hurts like hell, I've been having her give me one. I had one injection way early last week, and I had planned on going into the office and getting one, and I found out that our bank account was a lot lower than I thought. So I had to have my mom give me one last night. Well, it was kind of forced because I was going to wait till tomorrow to see what my options were, see what the pharmacy would do, whatever. However, last night, we went and picked up, my mom and I picked up my sister, and when we got back, now I was kind of hobbling because of my ankle, but other than that, I was walking fine. I walked through my house, and as soon as I get to my kitchen, my legs lock up. My calves felt like mush, but were drawn up at the same time. I haven't felt this way since March. If you remember, I used to have the rib episodes that for some reason would make my legs not work anymore. Well, usually whenever I go without the magnesium, I get a rib episode. My ribs are fine. My legs, for some reason, just didn't want to work anymore. It got to the point where I could stand there. At first, I could stand there and bear weight, but I couldn't move them. They set me down in a chair. After I sat down in the chair, I couldn't even get up to transfer over to a different chair. It took my mom and my boyfriend both to help me, and my arms are sore from last night, trying to pull myself around. Anyways, trying to make this short and sweet, I had to lay down. She had to give me a shot. I took my potassium, which was a great reminder for me to take it. They had to do passive range of motion on me. I had to do range of motion. My legs still hurt today, and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and this happened around midnight, 1 o'clock this morning, rather. But I've already been asleep. I tried to walk it off a little bit, and then I slept a little bit, so I thought I'd wake up and be better. No. So it scared me. I started crying. I was like, I don't want to go through this again. I don't at all. And my mind automatically went back to, 7 months ago where I was. And I'm like, no, come back. You're not there. You fucked up your meds. Don't mess up your meds. Especially if you're taking magnesium treatments, which I highly recommend you do. Don't mess them up because something on your body is going to mess up, and it's going to take your mind all the way back to where you were at the worst point in your life. And it's a really fucked up place to be for a few minutes, even for a few minutes. So that's the whole point of this. My warning, please heed it. Please stick to your regimen once you have one. I know I'm kind of bad at, eating foods that I shouldn't, but there are foods that kind of just make me feel a little ill. They don't harm me. The foods that harm me, I completely stay away from. So, I've kind of got that managed. But find it out for you, stick to your regimen, and if it does happen to where you have a setback or something come back, don't freak out. It's probably just because you ate something you weren't supposed to, or you haven't taken something you're supposed to. I'm going to go ahead and end this before it gets too long. So I hope this helps, and be well.